All right, sorry about that, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Mac and Talk for Tuesday, January 25th, 2021. I'm your host, Chanelle Allen. Mac and Talk is an open forum Q&A for anyone with Mac questions. Maybe you have just received a Mac, or you've had one around for a while and need help learning VoiceOver, or you could be deciding whether the Mac is the right device for you. Or you could have been using the Mac for a while but just have some questions about an app or a feature. For whatever reason, I am glad that you have joined us either live tonight or later on via the podcast recording. Since this meeting is being recorded, we ask that everyone stay muted at all times unless asking a question or making a comment, and then we will be good to go. Just to know, we do not use the raised hand feature. And I'll go over in just a few minutes how we mute and unmute and participate. Before we get into our questions for tonight, I would just like to tell you about some of our upcoming iBUG Today events. And actually, the best way to know about the latest happenings at iBUG is to follow us on our website and social media. Our website, ibugtoday.org, is a great place for you to visit to learn about upcoming events, or you may register. Registration is free, participation in all of our events is free, and once you register, you will receive email announcements about what's coming up next. The website is also a great place to learn more about Mac and Talk, the Mac and Talk link. And you can subscribe to our Mac and Talk email discussion group, which is kind of a companion to this call. So any questions that you have, you're welcome to address on that group, or any bit of info you found useful in using the Mac and VoiceOver, you're welcome to share. And you can listen to recordings of previous Mac and Talk calls or other iBUG workshops. So definitely visit our website, ibugtoday.org. We are on social media, as I said, Facebook. You can visit facebook.com/groups/iBugToday. And that is a great place for our announcements, to get those, and to ask questions in between our training sessions for our other events. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at iBUG Today. And our Twitter master, Herbie Allen, does an excellent job posting lots of Apple-related news, Mac how-tos and just guides, lots of deals, and other great info. Even if you are not on Twitter, you can still visit twitter.com/iBugToday and follow us that way. And he also posts our announcements there. Okay, that is our social media. Now let's talk about what's coming up this week. On Thursday, we have our independent living group, which is it's iBug's Life, and that they're meeting on Zoom at 6 p.m. We are rather, and our topic is safety at home. So, what things we can do to keep ourselves safe around the house. Join our facilitator, George Batiste, for that at 6 p.m. Central. On Friday, we have iBug Night at the virtual movies, beginning with a pre-movie social at 7:30, which is always fun. Trivia, music trivia, lots of jokes, and then our movie at 8, which is Sophie's Choice. Following the movie, we have a discussion and movie trivia. All right, and then just coming up, we always have every Monday our iBug Buzz, which is a great place to ask all of your iOS, iDevice, and iAccessory questions. Here we talk about the Mac, but on that call, we talk about exclusively iOS. So join us for that every Monday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. And we also, if you don't get a chance to ask your question tonight, or it's something we talk about brings a question to mind, well, you can have an opportunity to ask that next week at our iBug Mac Buzz on Clubhouse. That is from 5 to 6 p.m. the first and third Tuesday of every month. The second and fourth Tuesdays are just our iBUG Mini Buzz, which is a great call as well. And for those Trekkie fans out there, Star Trek fans, we will be beginning the fourth season of Next Generation next week, February 3rd. And then for our other events like our book club, iBug Android Insight, which some of us were just discussing earlier, the iBug Cafe, Apple Workshop, and more. Definitely check out our social media and website that I mentioned earlier. All right, now it is time for some introductions. So I would like in just a minute for you to go around, say your name, where you're calling from, and I do have a question. If you would find a session helpful on learning to Zoom host on the Mac. And by the way, to unmute, if you are on your Mac, it is Command Shift A. On your PC, it is Alt A. On your iPhone, the lower left-hand corner, iPad top middle, and telephone *6. When you have a question, what you'll do, how we do things, is you'll say your name, and then you'll pause while you wait for either me or my co-facilitators, Sandhya and Brad, to acknowledge you, and then you will ask your question or make your comment. And once your question has been addressed, we ask that you please kindly go back on mute. All right, that is enough jibber jabber from me for right now. So let's go on with our introductions.
I'm David Mandel from Berkeley, California.
Welcome, David.
This is Brad, and I'm in Dallas.
Hi, Brad.
Pat McPherson from Ohio. And
Great.
yes, I would like a class on hosting from a Mac.
All
on
right,
Zoom.
great. Are you a first-time caller, Pat?
I have been on other sessions, but I did get a Mac and I don't have it totally set up yet to start rolling with it. And I had heard about this class, so I thought, or this call, so I thought I'd just get on here and listen and see what's going on.
Great. Well,
I have
welcome.
been on other things, but my first time here.
Awesome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And next?
Judy in
Paul.
Connecticut.
Oh,
Okay,
go ahead,
I hear
Judy.
Paul. And then
Hi.
Judy. Hi, Paul.
This is Paul from Virginia. And to answer your question, no, thank you. I would not be interested in such a class.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And I think you've joined us before, haven't you? Or
Not this particular, but I have been on
Okay,
other
okay.
iBug events.
All right. And do you have a Mac?
I do. Vintage 2014.
Well, I still have a 2012, so it's all good.
Yep.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Chanelle, this is Judy. I would be interested.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Donna from North Carolina, and I guess I'd be interested.
Awesome. Thanks, Donna.
Dan from San Diego, I would be interested.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
Carol in San Antonio. I'm not ready to learn that at this time. I'm still shopping for a Mac to replace my broken old one.
Okay, I understand. That's totally fine. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
This is Jesse from the town of Crossnore in the mountains of North Carolina.
Awesome.
And what we're interested in, what are we? Is it
like a little session on, or part of our session devoted to Zoom hosting on the Mac.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Do we have anyone else who would like to introduce themselves? You're welcome to. All right. Well, welcome to everyone.
Elisa and Porter. And what was your question again, Chanel?
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's fine. Hi, Elisa. Would
Hi.
you be interested in a session on hosting in Zoom on the Mac?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for being here. All right. Well, if we don't have anyone else who wants to introduce themselves, which is totally fine, who would like to ask our first question?
Elisa.
Yes, Elisa.
So I have a MacBook Air 13-inch, and I don't really know if I want it anymore because I should have listened. I mean, I don't really know if I want it because I don't think I'm good at a Mac.
Oh.
And I have I don't know if anybody has any other suggestions on what other Macs are out there. 'Cause I know there's new ones, but I don't know if I'm good at them.
So your question then is, what are the Macs out there? But then also, how would you figure out whether the Mac is the right device for you?
Yeah, because I got it because I graduated, and I was like, oh, I guess. Now I'm like, I don't know if I even enjoy this.
Okay. All right. So who wants to answer Elisa's question?
So Jesse?
Yes, Jesse.
Yeah. You're gonna have pretty much the same operating system with about any new Mac you get, whether it be a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air. My experience was that it was there's a very steep learning curve learning the Mac with VoiceOver. So get all the help you can. And it's hard, but really, it was hard for me. But once I learned it, I would never go back. I can do so much with the Mac. It's unbelievable. So hang in there.
That's awesome. Okay. Anyone else have a comment?
This is Brad.
Yes, Brad.
I believe Elisa said she had a MacBook Air. Did she say 2013? It's not too old. It's still a good solid machine. I don't believe it'll run Monterey or Big Sur, but that's okay. Any recent version of the operating system is a good place to get your foundation and get used to what you're doing. The differences in the newest version of the operating system and a couple of versions older isn't much different, and you'll get a good foundation. The thing I really like about a Mac, I made the switch to a Mac about almost 9 years ago now as my primary computer, is the way there's such a seamlessness in the Apple ecosystem between my iPhone and my Mac. One of my favorite features is the universal clipboard, where I'm able to copy something to the clipboard on one device and then paste it on another device. It's an often overlooked feature that's really fantastic. And I believe the 2013 Mac Air, 2013 series of Macs is the first series that's available on, and that will work with iPhone running the current iPhone operating system, or an iPad, or another Mac, as long as they're all signed into the same Apple ID account. You have the ability to seamlessly move among each other. Your music, if you have music, Apple Music, or even just music in your on your Mac that you've gotten from CDs and things, you can use music sharing, and you can get it on there. And I could go on and on, but just Apple ecosystem is fantastic. So I would encourage you to hang on to that Mac and learn as much as you can about it.
Great. Yep, the Mac can do lots of things for us, and especially if you are connected into your iPhone. And yeah, definitely. Anyone else with a comment?
This is Donna.
Yes, Donna.
And I am a new Mac user. I've only been using my Mac for about 6 months and have really enjoyed it. And I had great benefit from the class that iBUG today did last fall. That was instructed by Chanelle, who is our host this evening. And so I would recommend that you sign up for that class, because there really was a lot of very basic material that was presented. And I know that I am as far as I am right now with my Mac because of that class. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. That and lots of persistence on it. I've seen Donna's persistence and really trying to learn something. So, yep. Great. Thank you. Any other comments?
This is Paul.
Yes, Paul.
I don't know if I forgot her name. Was it Elisa who
Yes.
originally asked the question? If she's brand new to the Mac or not. But when I first began using a Mac, I worked for many years in the Windows world. I was able to get a hold of a book by National Braille Press that I found very helpful. I mean, this is as far back as I think El Capitan was the operating system, so several years ago, and I found that to be useful to refer back. And I would also recommend the annual class, such as the one that was just recommended, because armed with a good class and a good reference book and persistence, I definitely think Elise could certainly use the Mac.
Definitely.
Very
Yeah, and that's
efficiently.
a great book. Definitely. Thank you.
This is Brad.
Yes, Brad.
When I first started using a Mac, I got a book on, we used to call it iBooks. Now it's Apple Books, the app on your iPhone, written by a guy named David Poe. He is a technology writer for the New York Times, and he has written a whole series he's written a lot of technology books, but he wrote a book. It was called Switching to the Mac. At the time, the current operating system was Mountain Lion. It was called Switching to the Mac, the Mountain Lion edition. And I'm sure he's updated it since then, but even if he hadn't, the basics are still the same. And it had a lot of interesting stuff about, you're used to doing things the Windows way. Well, here's how to do it the Mac way. So I can't remember if I had to pay for that book or not, but it wasn't much if I did, and it was well worth it. So, and Apple Books is very accessible. So when you have chapters and you can, get an overview of the book and move around, read. You don't have to read it in order. You can choose a chapter, read it, choose a different one. Anyway, David Poe, Switching to the Mac. It's a good series.
Awesome. Is that part of the Take Control books by chance,
No,
or
it
those
has
two
nothing to
separate
do with
things?
those.
Okay.
No.
Well, I still might look it up. That sounds
Yeah,
really good.
you can find it on Apple Books. So David, I can't remember how to spell his name. I could look it up and put it out on the email list. But he's a well-known technology
Elisa?
writer.
Yes, Elisa.
I read a book on the Mac. I think it was the Mac, but I don't remember the name of the book.
Okay.
And I know it was on Apple Books.
Okay, well, keep exploring those resources and coming and asking questions here, and just find something that you would really like to do on the Mac.
I know I took your classes before, but I think I lost all the recordings.
Well, we have some up on YouTube now. That's for
Oh,
anyone, whether you can get in the class or not. All of the lectures from the previous class are posted to YouTube on our iBUG Today channel, which
because I
I,
know I took some of your questions, I think.
yeah, you did, and I just forgot, and I forgot to mention our YouTube thing at the beginning. Oops. But you can get all
Yeah,
of our Mac and Talks and all of our previous workshops there. So I think we're going to move on and see if
sounds
anyone else has
good.
questions. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So who else would like to ask the next question?
This is Dan.
Yes, Dan.
Okay, first of all, I'm glad you're posting on YouTube. I'm going through those past workshops, and those are really helpful. My question is, how does someone copy to the clipboard on a Mac? I know how to do it on the iPhone, but I don't know how to do it on the Mac. So how do you do that?
All right, who would like to answer Dan's question? Copying to the clipboard.
It's Brad.
Yes, Brad.
Well, you say you do it on a what'd you say, on an iPhone? Do you use your a keyboard on the iPhone, or are you just using swipe gestures?
I'm just using swipe gestures.
Okay. Do you ever do it? You ever copy things to clipboard on a Windows computer?
I think I did. It's been a while.
Okay. It's essentially where I was going with this was, if you're using the keyboard on an iPhone, it's the same keyboard commands. But the procedure is the same as on Windows. It's just the keyboard commands a little different. You want to highlight the text one way or another by moving your cursor to the beginning of the thing. And actually, I do this without using voiceover commands, because I can get my cursor to the beginning of my block of text, and I can hold down the Option key and right arrow, and I'll move forward by word. Also, you want to hold the Shift key down, just like on Windows. That's the key that makes it highlight as you navigate the cursor. As you move the insertion point, it will, as long as you're holding the Shift key down, it highlights. And you can move, just arrow key will go a character at a time. If you hold down the Option key, it goes a word at a time. And you could also hold down the Shift key and use a down arrow, and you'll move down to the next line. And you just have highlighted everything from where you started to where you are now. So once you've highlighted your block of text, the command is, you hold down the Command key and press the letter C, and you have just copied whatever is highlighted to the clipboard. And provided you're using, say, a text editor like TextEdit or even Pages, or if you're in an email, it's similar. Let's say you want to copy some text from a web page. It's all very similar. And once it's on clipboard, you then go where you would like to paste it, and the command to paste it would be Command V.
Okay, the Command V, is that going to automatically grab the text that you just previously copied?
It will paste whatever is the last item added to the clipboard. So if you highlighted text and did the Command C command, you just copied a chunk of text to the clipboard.
Right.
And if you go someplace where you would then like to paste it, say another text edit document, or from one email message to another one, and you paste it, or you can even go from an email message to a text edit document, or a text edit document to an email, because the clipboard is not application specific. It's similar to like in Windows, where you have a Windows clipboard, where here you have the Mac
it's kind
clipboard.
of a buffer, right? Sort of a
Yeah,
buffer.
and
Anything.
yes. And it's generally the last, on the Mac, it holds only one chunk of text. There are utilities you can get that can expand what the clipboard will do. But anyway, and you Command V will paste what you just copied to the clipboard.
Okay, so Command C and Command V are the
Correct.
key. Yeah.
And if you wanted to move the text, instead of use Command C, you would use Command X, and that would cut the text and put
that's
it
right.
in the clipboard. It's very similar to how you would do it on Windows. You just use the Command key instead of the Control key, but basically the mechanics are the same.
The same, yeah. All right, thank you.
Excellent question. It's always good to review those basic things, definitely.
This is Sonia.
Yes, Sandhya.
I have a similar question about cutting and pasting. I know we've talked about on the iPhone, if you do the four finger triple tap, I think it is, and then it copies whatever was spoken. Is there something equivalent on the Mac?
This is Brad. Yes,
Yes,
there
Brad.
is.
Yep.
The command on a Mac would be Command VO Shift C will copy the last spoken phrase by VoiceOver to the clipboard. I use it all the time. It's a great utility.
It is. I love that command. Thanks, Brad. Hopefully that helps Sandhya. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So who else would like to ask a question?
This is Gail.
Yes, Gail, go ahead.
Okay, I was on a call the other day on the Mac. I got onto a Zoom meeting on the Mac, and I think it was like the first time I'd gotten onto a Zoom meeting, but with the voiceover. But then, oh, by the way, I am interested in, I couldn't unmute before. I am interested in the Zoom hosting also. But
Great.
when I was in the meeting, and I was trying to unmute my voiceover, they could hear my voiceover going off, and my voiceover was saying, like so-and-so is, like you can hear like the participants that are coming into the meeting, and they say, whose voiceover is that? And I said, it's mine. And so I turned my voiceover off, but can you, I think I need some help when you get into Zoom on a Mac, because I guess when you do the, for the thing that you're going to do for the Zoom on the Mac, is that going to be all Zoom on the Mac? But my question is, when you get into Zoom on the Mac and you have voiceover and you're trying to unmute, how do you get it to where your voiceover is not talking?
Okay, so were you wearing headphones?
No, I wasn't. Is that the problem?
Yeah, that's why people heard your voiceover.
Okay. And then also, can you always, like, you can push the space button to talk?
Yes.
And do you just hold it down when you want to, while you're speaking, and then lift it up when you're done?
That's correct.
Okay. Or you can do Command Shift A and then Command Shift
Yes.
A. Okay. All right. So I guess that was the problem. As long as I put the
Elisa?
Yes, Elisa.
Yeah, because I was at that meeting and it was pretty loud. And I was like, whose voiceover is that?
Okay. Yep. So I think Brad and other people here can attest to the fact that headphones are
Yeah.
the key.
Always use headphones.
Yes.
Always.
Don't ever have voiceover talking.
It's one thing on your phone. I mean, I've been on an iPhone on Zoom, and voiceover does not come through there if you don't have headphones on. But a computer, a Mac, it's totally different. So
yeah, I don't know. Well, speaking of headphones, and I know this happened to me on my iPhone, but because I tried to put this on the other day, and my AirPods were not working. So on my iPhone.
This is Brad. What you want to do, and this is good practice for everyone. when you're using your iPods, right? You put them on.
AirPods.
AirPods. Okay. Yeah. AirPods. Excuse me. Wrong word. And you're here when you have them on, and you're able to hear voiceover before you begin the Zoom meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What I suggest that you do is before joining a meeting, open Zoom. Okay. Then go into Zoom preferences. Are you signed into Zoom with an account? Because I don't think you can do this if you're not signed in.
Well, I mean, I have Zoom on, like I do have Zoom signed in, but I always sign in to the meetings with a link.
Well, I mean, do you
I
have
do have a Zoom account, yes.
Okay. Before you join a meeting, open the Zoom app, even if you're going to go back to an email or something and join it from a link. Open the Zoom app.
Okay, so like
once you have the Zoom app open, then open Zoom preferences, and you can do that using Command, comma. Okay. Then you will find there is a group called categories. There's a categories table. You want to interact with the categories table and go to audio. It's the third item from the top. So you start out at the top on general, interact with the table, VO right arrow 2 times, and you don't even have to stop interacting with the table. You can then just use the tab key. And when you press the tab key once, it takes you to test audio device. You press it a second time, you are now on a combo box that lets you open it up and choose your audio output device. And you should find your AirPods on that list. It may be on your Mac's internal speaker. So you want to choose your AirPods from that list. Then after you have choose your AirPods on that list, I would continue pressing the tab key. I think it's maybe 4 more times, and you'll land on a button that says test microphone. Press it 1 more time, and you're on another combo box that lets you pick your microphone, and your AirPods should be on that list. And now you have set the Zoom for your desired output and input device. When you're done with the preferences, making those 2 choices, just hit the escape key and it'll close it. And now you're good to go. You can use Command H, hide the Zoom app, go to your mail, wherever you have that link, select the link, click it, it'll join the meeting, and you can be assured that you have set up your input and output devices. Now as you continue to use Zoom, it kind of learns. It's either Zoom or it's the Mac that learns what you want to do. But my advice is never trust it. Always check it before you join a meeting, particularly if you do like me. Sometimes I use an external microphone. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just using the microphone that's in my AirPods, or in my case, my AirPod Max headphones. And since I'm switching, Zoom can get kind of confused sometimes. So I always double check, and then you'll be assured that you're on the intended devices.
Thank you, Brad.
Oh yeah, thank you, Brad. I had no idea about all that. Appreciate it.
That's a brilliant, clear explanation. And that's great. You have them memorized, how many times to press tab and so forth. So hopefully that helps, Gail. Give it a
If you
try.
had any idea how many times I've done that daily.
Okay. Wow. That's great. All right, Gail. So try going on to another Zoom meeting on your Mac at some point and let us know how it goes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Who would like to ask, the next question?
This is Donna.
Yeah, Donna.
What is the best method for reading PDF files?
Ooh. Who would like to answer Donna?
This is Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse.
One of the more recent ways I make sure the PDF is on the iPhone and then share it to the Books app.
Ah.
And the Books app will read all kinds of stuff. It'll read PDFs. You can share a website and it'll share it to Books, and you can name, that. And now on the Mac, it's kind of different. Usually what I use a third-party OCR and run it through that to convert it to a Pages document. But someone may have a better, easier way to do it.
All right. Would anyone else like to comment? Otherwise, I can. All right. So.
This is Dan.
Oh, Dan, go ahead.
My question is, what third-party OCR on the Mac is Jesse? I think his name is. What's he using? What's the app
what
called?
Are you using, Jesse?
It's AABBY. Fine Reader OCR.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Okay.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, I think if you have a PDF on the Mac, you can share it to Books on the Mac, because the Books app is on the Mac now.
Yes, it is.
So it'll be available on the Mac or on the phone. And PDFs, that I haven't done it read them that much on the Mac, but boy, the iPhone will just read PDFs really nice.
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
One of the things you want to be aware of is whether or not a PDF is accessible depends upon how it was created.
Yeah.
If the PDF was created in a word processor such as Pages or Microsoft Word, and then it's saved as a PDF, that PDF will be accessible. But if someone has taken a printed out document and has scanned it on, say, their office copier or their home copy print scanner, and then saves that scan as a PDF, that is essentially an image. It's a picture, and it may not be accessible. And that's where, to use in say the Preview app, or I'm not sure familiar with, I haven't used the Books app much on the Mac. I use Preview a lot. But that is where your Abby Fine Reader OCR will come in handy for you, because that will be able to, use optical character recognition on an inaccessible PDF and make it readable.
Yes, and that's very true. And so those inaccessible PDFs are the trickiest. I would agree with Brad that Preview is great on the Mac for those accessible PDFs that you might have, because you just have to interact with a couple times. And it's been a while since I have read a PDF. Another app that I have been exploring a little bit, and I have not had a chance to open a PDF in it, but is VoiceStream Reader is now being made available for the Mac. You have the iPhone app, and the Mac app you can definitely use to play all the content that your iPhone app does, but you just don't have the different voices. But it might also be a good option for those PDFs. So great topic, Jesse, and I hadn't even thought about importing them into Books. So even when you think you know something on the topic, as I did, there's always another way you can learn. So thank you for sharing.
So I opened a PDF file that was sent to me. I opened an attachment.
Okay.
I opened it in Adobe.
Okay.
And it was, anyway, my neighbor was over here doing something, and I said, why because I knew it was on the screen. So he highlighted part of the document, and I went to the menu bar and it said something about Command L would give me the full screen. So I did that, and it read the document, but I had to VO right arrow through the various paragraphs. So that was my question. I thought surely there is a way that I can open these accessible PDF documents into some sort of a app, and it will read it to me.
Okay.
Kind of like JAWS reads
Right.
PDF files.
Yeah, I know it. So did it open in preview? Do you know if that's where it opened, or? Oh no, you said it opened in Adobe.
It opened in Adobe. Well, I opened it the first time in preview because I was certain that VoiceOver would read it. So when I opened it, and I was like, nothing is happening here. So I thought maybe I need Adobe, and I thought I need Adobe anyway to be able to work with forms and that sort of thing. So that was why I had it open in Adobe, but it could be that in preview, I don't know, I'll try it and just see. It would save me from having to, I'll do whatever I need to do. I just need for it to work smoothly.
Brad?
Yeah, Brad.
I have also found that sometimes opening a PDF, of course, it has to be an accessible PDF. In Microsoft Word, I have Word on my Mac, and they're very readable and they're easy to navigate in Word. I mean, things are going to navigate different on a Mac than they are on a Windows machine. And of course, like in preview, you kind of got to interact with each page. You can get it to read a single page, then you got to, leave page one, go to page two, interact with page two. And that's just a Mac thing. People always want to make it, why can't I just make it to a sale at the beginning? Well, because this isn't Windows.
Yeah.
In Windows, you're not in Kansas anymore, But I have found that a lot of times things are really almost easier to read when I open them in Microsoft Word. Now you maybe try the same thing in Pages, but I think Pages is going to behave like Preview because it's a Mac app. So, but I pay for Office 365, which is why I've got a Word on my computer, but it seems to work really well with reading PDFs.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Donna. It got me to think about some different things. So, and it's always helpful when when you ask your questions and you don't know who else you'll help. So, thank you very much. Who else has a question?
This is Pat.
Pat, go ahead.
Okay, how long does it take to be able to navigate once you're learning the Mac?
Oh,
like learning all the different commands and the keyboard and whatever. Does it just vary on your experience, or is it like an ongoing forever project?
All right. Who would like to comment on their process and how long it took for learning the Mac? I think you'll find it's very individual, but would anyone like to contribute?
This is Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse.
Pat, I think that what I did was concentrate just on one app and learn everything you can to run VoiceOver on the Mac with one app. Figure out one thing you want to do and concentrate on that. And it may take a while. Get a lot of help. A lot of times if you get really stuck, you can call Apple Accessibility and they'll help you out. They'll do a screen share, and they work with people from all different levels of ability. Believe me, I have asked very dumb questions and they said, no, that's a good question. So pick something you really want to do and just concentrate on that, like working in email, or maybe working in Pages, or just the app that you're interested in. That's kind of what I would say, and it'll take a little while. I always remember that the Mac and its operating system was designed to be visual for sighted people. So VoiceOver, it's a little bit, it takes some work to learn it and to learn how to navigate it, but hang in there. It will be worth it, believe me.
That's right. And I think you find once you learn one
Thank
app, those.
you. I am pretty proficient on my iPhone, and I was pretty good technical wise when I worked, but I haven't even used a desktop since '01. I have never used a laptop at all. So to me, it's kind of like, oh no, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll learn it quickly. But someone came out from a site center and was supposed to get it set up and going for me, and they actually left without having the voiceover on there, and there's this screen on there that I can't see. So I don't know, they're supposed to come back out, but I'm like, I can't even practice anything because I can't get on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now you plan on using the screen reader VoiceOver, right?
Yes, I can't read text.
Okay.
With my
Now,
vision.
Yeah. Now you can try, pushing Command and then the F5 key, and that will turn VoiceOver, toggle it on and off. So you can toggle VoiceOver on.
Yeah.
Use the option control, those the VO keys, and then the arrow keys to find out where you've landed. So that there's just a few keystrokes you can start out with that'll get you around.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like they were supposed to help me get started, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is frustrating. I thought it was accessible out of the box,
It is,
and for them to leave me hanging, and I'm hoping that they will get back out here, but if not, if I'm not logged in there, I don't think I can share the screen with Apple Accessibility. And if I can ask another question, has anybody ever used the Numbers app?
All right.
Yes.
So, okay. So let's go ahead and say who we are and all that good stuff.
Sorry.
Just that's okay, Jesse. I know we're carrying on a conversation, and that's important too. But
This is Brad.
yeah, Brad, go ahead.
I've not used Numbers a lot, but I wanted to reinforce what Jesse said: is pick an app and learn it and get used to it. Numbers is not going to be an easy app to get started with. I would try getting proficient with other apps and learn the Apple way of doing things before I ventured into Numbers. Even Pages. I was going to say, actually, I find TextEdit to be an excellent app to start learning VoiceOver and Apple basics. There's two things going on. You're learning the Apple operating system, and you're also learning to access the Apple operating environment with VoiceOver. What Jesse said, Command F5 is probably the most important keyboard command to know, because that's what turns VoiceOver on and off, and you're going to turn it on and you're never going to turn it off. But if somebody like whoever it was that came out to work on your computer. It sounds to me like they weren't a voiceover user. They were doing whatever they were doing and they walked away without thinking about turning it back on. I assume you have F keys on your computer. It's not one of the Macs with a touch bar, because it's a little bit different to turn voiceover on.
It does have the touch screen function keys.
No, touch bar function. No Mac has a touch screen.
Okay.
But you have that touch bar.
A little vertical or a horizontal bar
instead of F keys.
There are F keys above at the top of the keyboard, but they're not physical keys.
It's a touch bar. So in this case,
it's a touch bar.
In this case, so you have one of the MacBook Pros that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years. In that case, the key you want to know is on the far right-hand end of that touch bar is a button. It has your Touch ID sensor in it. It also is a power button, although I believe the machines will start when you open the top, or just touch any key will power it on. But if you take that key, the Touch ID key on the far right end of the touch bar, press it 3 times quickly. That will turn VoiceOver on or off. Since you do not have physical F keys, you are not able to do Command F5. So you're going to want to just push. I believe you hold down the Command key, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think that's what, thank you, Jesse. Hold the Command key down and press that Touch ID button 3 times real quickly. And that will toggle your VoiceOver on or off for you. Yeah. And if for some reason you have a lock screen where you're supposed to enter a password, it's as long as you don't have File Vault turned on, you can do the same thing and it will turn on VoiceOver. If you got File Vault turned on, it's a little different. I think it speaks now, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, it does speak if you're using the newer version. But anyway, Command and press that Touch ID button 3 times and that'll turn it on for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let us know how that goes for you. And we are here, and I'm excited for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
So, who would like to ask our next question?
This is Jesse.
Yes, Jesse.
Like I was saying before, there's some apps that are not accessible to VoiceOver. You just hear that. You push VO right and left arrow, it just goes ping, ping.
Right.
There's an app called VOCR, and you can load that app up, and it actually scans and OCRs the window, and then you can. What I've been doing is reading the elements inside that inaccessible window. My problem is I can't get the mouse pointer to follow the VoiceOver cursor. This VOCR works with VoiceOver. So you're navigating these elements inside this inaccessible app, but the mouse pointer doesn't follow the VoiceOver cursor. And I wonder if anybody has any ideas. I've got it, the VoiceOver utility set, and it says mouse pointer, will follow the VoiceOver cursor, but it's just not doing it. So any ideas?
Anybody have any ideas?
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Why does it need the mouse to follow the VoiceOver cursor in this app?
Because there are elements that I want to click on to bring up another page and control.
Okay. If you've gone into the VoiceOver utility in the navigations category and you have told it the mouse cursor follows VoiceOver, it should be doing it. But in the event that it's not, you can use the command VO modifier and the command key and press F5. Now, on your touch bar Macs that don't have an F key, if you hold down the voiceover modifier and the FN key, you can use the number row as if it were F keys for voiceover commands. They won't do other non-voiceover F key actions, but it will do if it's a voiceover. So for example, FN plus VO plus command key, I realize that takes 4 fingers, and unless you worked in a sawmill, you should be okay.
Contortionist.
And then push F5, and that key will route mouse pointer to the location of the voiceover cursor.
Okay.
Until you move the voiceover cursor. And sometimes that initiates that navigation setting to make voiceover follow, the mouse pointer to follow the voiceover. I don't find, sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. It used to always do it. It doesn't seem to do it consistently now.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But,
So I
go
have
ahead.
F keys. And I use VO command F5.
That should do it.
And it then I use FN VO F5 to see where the mouse is, and it doesn't move to the element that I was on. The router's not, the router doesn't seem to be working. So this must be one of those cases where it doesn't.
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
What it does is it moves it into, the voiceover cursor is like a box. And so it may be that the tip of the mouse arrow is in the voiceover cursor, but when you ask it to tell you, when you say you push VOFN F5, it tells you the location of the voiceover cursor, and it's that location of the mouse. How is it not telling you that it's where the voiceover cursor is? What is it saying that's different?
It's saying that the mouse is on the title of the window instead of on the element, where I want it. And so then I use the command to route. I use the VOCR software to get the voiceover cursor on an element I want to click.
Okay.
And I route the
mouse pointer to VO cursor.
Yes. And then I check to see where the mouse cursor is, the mouse pointer is, and it's still on the title.
Well, I have a little bit of sight, and I'm able to see, especially if I magnify the screen. And I find that consistently when I use that command, VO command F5, my mouse pointer is routed to the location of the voiceover cursor. However, depending upon what the voiceover cursor is on, for example, if I'm navigating text and I have my voiceover cursor set to navigate by line, my voiceover, the little rectangle that outlines my voiceover cursor may be rather large. And the tip of that mouse pointer may be in the polygon, because sometimes the voiceover cursor is not a neat rectangle. If it's on text and one sentence is by sentence, and sentence starts on one line, finishes on another line, I have more of a, irregular shaped polygon than I do a rectangle. But the tip of my mouse pointer tends to be in that polygon.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if this has got something's going on with this. I'm not familiar with this VOCR app.
Yeah.
So
Here's
I don't know.
Yeah. They tell you to turn off the screen curtain and to turn off the voiceover visuals. I'm going to try turning on the voiceover visuals, which is the
Yeah.
cursor box, and see if that helps. So I
I don't see
appreciate.
why screen curtain would matter, but maybe it does.
Yeah, I think it does. It's supposed to. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll try.
okay.
I'll try turning on the visuals and see if that works. Yeah, I appreciate
That
that.
may have something to do with it. Yeah, because that
Yep.
gets rid of that voiceover, the outline, the rectangle that shows you where the polygon that shows you where the voiceover cursor is. That could be the key right there.
I've had similar problems even without using VOCR, but yeah, I do turn all the visuals off. So that's an interesting thing to try. So hopefully that helps, Jesse, and thanks for the
Yeah.
question.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
Michael?
Yes, Michael.
Yeah, so I'm in a Finder window and looking at the sidebar, and it's changed the items that that I had visible in the sidebar. So I went to the Finder preferences and found the sidebar preference and look at the ones that I have checked off, and it looks like I have checked off the ones that I normally used to, the ones I'd wanted, but when I actually go look at a Finder window, it's different. Any ideas what?
This is Brad.
Yes, Brad.
Is it possible that some things may be collapsed? Like, for example, there's some areas like external device. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's got iCloud, then local or I can't remember all of them. I know what you mean, tags and whatnot.
Yeah, I think you can collapse tags, can't you? I don't use tags. I mean, I have used them, but
Yeah, I normally don't use them. I mean, they're there. I've never tried to collapse them, but.
Jesse?
Yes, Jesse.
Okay, so my default Finder window is like the desktop. If you push Command N, that might bring up the Finder window you're looking for. And you can have any number of Finder windows and toggle between them. If you're trying to get from one place to another, you put the focus of one Finder window somewhere and on another Finder window somewhere else. But anyway, try Command N for a new Finder window and see if you can you can find those elements in the sidebar that you're looking for.
Okay, yeah, I've done that. I brought up open new Finder windows, and it still looks like this latest one. It's not giving me what I would have set up as my default.
Okay.
I'm getting this limited set of elements there in the sidebar. What Brad was saying as far as some of the areas may be collapsed. So I have to go look at that. I haven't checked that.
You might check the view.
Oh, that's another idea.
Okay.
Do you? Go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say, this is Brad. Are you sure that your sidebar is turned on? Have you gone to the view menu? I can't remember the command. I think it's Command Shift S to show and hide
That
I
sounds
can't
right.
remember. I leave my sidebar on all the time. But
I
there
don't
is a
use mine,
command
but yeah.
in the view menu within Finder that will do things like show or hide
It's Command
the side.
Control S.
Yeah, command control. What did I said command control F. Thank you. Show or hide the sidebar, show or hide the status bar,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. Make sure that it's, if it says hide the sidebar, then the sidebar is visible. If it says show the sidebar, then the sidebar is not visible,
Yeah.
in,
I
in the view
checked,
menu.
I did check that. Yeah. Under
Okay.
the view, it's showing, the command hide sidebar is there. So that implies its sidebar
Right.
is visible.
This is Jesse. What about,
Yeah.
would column view work better if are you in some other
Well,
view?
So this is Chanel. I think so. He's trying to use the sidebar, and that I don't think is affected by whether you're using
Mm-mm.
column view or list view. I don't really use the sidebar much, but that's you kind of have it's the sidebars to the left side of the window, and then you have a little other thing that divides it from your main list of folders
Vertical
and
separator.
vertical separator. There you go. It's not a thingy. It's a vertical separator.
Yeah.
Right. It's a totally separate section.
Yeah, so I just mainly use things entirely in the right. I don't generally bother
Mhm.
with that sidebar, but that is weird. Not showing what you have selected. So you can manually add a folder to the sidebar with or an item, Command Control T, I believe. So once you find,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'll play around with some of these suggestions then. See what
All right.
happens. Oh, by the way, I guess last week, I think it was at the Mac Buzz on Clubhouse, I'd mentioned the issue I was having with, I don't even remember what the issue was, but I ended up installing a malware
Oh, that's right.
thing, and it did find some malware and allowed me to the search. Yeah,
Is your
my
Yahoo search.
Yeah, it was. So it got rid of that. So yeah, somehow
Good.
Yahoo search got set as
Installed.
some
Mhm.
kind of little thing on there on my window, and so yeah, so that's gone away now.
That's good.
Fix that issue at least anyway. All right, thanks guys.
Yep, thank you. All right, who would like to ask our next question?
This is Brad.
Yes, Brad.
I'm curious as to which malware application Michael installed, because my wife's computer, when she had some search thing installed in her Safari, I believe I had malware bytes on hers, and it did nothing to help me out.
Really?
Yeah, I had to wipe the drive to fix it.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's pretty much, Michael.
Yep, Michael.
Yeah, so I kind of did a search of some different reviews of malware applications, and I was just looking at, there's a number of paid ones, but I just looked for the free ones just to try them out. And it had malware bytes. I think it was about the 4th or 5th ranked. The top ranked one was Avast, AVAST.
Okay.
And that's what I'm using. And it also has real-time checking. So now occasionally I'll get a message pop up that says, it's found some malware. I guess some website is trying to put some adware or something on my computer. And so it's
You said
catching it.
Avast, AVAST?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
good to
Okay.
know.
Let me know how that works out, because my prior experience is Avast is a resource hog. So I'm wondering how that will, what your experiences are
noticed,
like.
Yeah, I
This is
noticed
Herbie.
some websites are a little slower, but the other issue I was having, now I remember, was
With your tabs.
it was eating up my. I was getting a computer memory.
Overflow, your RAM was full.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's gone away now too. It's running.
I suspect that was that Yahoo toolbar thing, Yahoo
Yeah.
search.
Yeah, right.
I think Herbie had something.
Yes, Herbie, go ahead.
So my experience with Avast have been on the Windows side of things, but I'm curious if the same applies to the Mac. Like Brad, it was a resource hog. It was good for back in the day, though. But one thing I remember very clearly from the Windows side is if you wanted to uninstall it, you had to run it in safe mode. And so I'm wondering if you have to do the same equivalent on the Mac if you want to uninstall Avast. Run it in safe mode, or if have to go into recovery mode, or well, there's no safe mode. You know what I mean. But I'm just wondering if it works the same way on the Mac, or if it's.
This is Brad. Yeah, that was one of my experiences. Once installed, it was very difficult to get rid of.
Okay, it's Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't even tried to uninstall it, so I have no idea yet. I'd have to try to uninstall it to see.
All right, let us know if you, not saying you leave your computer unprotected, but if you get curious, let us know.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
This is Herbie.
Yes, Herbie.
So this is not a question, but something I came across today that may affect some people, but it sounds like there's going to be an issue temporarily with Dropbox and macOS 12.3 when it comes to online files.
Yes, I saw that.
And so they are saying now that, okay, I wanted to make sure that people got it too, so it probably is legit and not a spam, but it's saying now that some apps may not be able to open files that you have stored as online. So, of course, it's not specific on which apps are affected, and they're coming out with a beta in March. So, if you're like me and you do have a lot of files online, one thing I will mention is you can, depending on your storage, if you want to make files local, you go to the file or the folder, you do a VO-Shift-M and go up to Smart Sync, and then right arrow, and you'll see two options, local and online, and the one that's checked is what it is set to. And you can just hit local if you want to open your files and other apps. And like I said, it was very vague on what apps will be affected or how, what'll happen or whatever. So it might be an issue, like say if you want to open a Word file and you have it open in TextEdit, maybe it just won't open if it's set to online. So I'm not sure what Mac 12.3 is supposed to do that would break this, but that is what they said today. So I thought I'd make sure everybody that uses Dropbox is aware of this new bug that's going to be happening. But they are aware of it and working on a fix. So I would also say, just be patient as well.
Thanks for the info. I didn't mean to share that and I forgot. So I did look at my Mac and it was, I think the latest is still like 12.1.
12.1, yeah.
Okay, so.
And they're talking 12.3.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Did you receive the same message, Brad?
Yeah, I got it today.
Okay.
And then they talk about what did it refer to running
beta.
The beta that's running is for to run natively in M1 Mac.
That's
it's
what
M1,
I thought.
the Apple Silicon version. I mean, I'm running.
And that's what I was wondering too. Is this something
Mac.
that just affects the M1 Macs and that particular version?
So, I don't know. Well, I'm running it with when I installed Dropbox, I was prompted to install Rosetta 2, which installed, and it's interesting because I don't find it anywhere in my applications folder or my utilities. It installed it, did the same thing on my wife's M1 when I installed some things on hers. So, and then I never see or hear from it again. These non, or shall we say, non M1 applications to have no problem running on the M1 Mac. So, and I can't tell the difference. It seems
This
to
is
run
Herbie.
just fine.
Yeah, Herbie.
So one issue that I came across when trying to help somebody a couple weeks ago, and Chanelle knows all about this. So we were trying to help somebody run RS Games, the client, on their M1 Mac, and it was not letting them do it. I don't know if it's because the RS Games app needs some new update or whatever, but it was, it wouldn't let them get past the like they could kind of get past the first security message, and that was it. They couldn't run it, and the app was like, and they even had to delete it out of the apps folder in order to be able to do updates. So I think I thought that was interesting. So that's where at least I've remotely working with somebody ran into a problem with a native app, and they were unsure if they'd installed Rosetta or not, but it didn't say anything about it being incompatible or anything like that. So I'm assuming if you didn't have Rosetta installed, it would say the app is incompatible with the M1 system, or what kind of message would you get?
This is Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
When I installed Dropbox, I can't remember what it was I installed on my wife's. She doesn't use Dropbox. But anyway, I installed Dropbox. I got prompted. This application, needs Rosetta, is not an M1, it needs Rosetta. Do you want to install? And I said, yes. I knew exactly what, Rosetta 2 was. And I said, yes. And I agree. And it installed it. And then it proceeded. I think I had to go restart the installer again, or did it continue? I can't remember. But it just installed, and the thing has just worked ever since. So you get prompted unless Rosetta is already installed.
That's kind of what I thought from what you'd said before, but okay, that's good to know.
That is definitely good to know. Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have a question? All right, well.
This is Dan.
Yes, Dan.
It took me a while to get unmuted.
No problem.
You guys were mentioning preview on the Mac. I'm not familiar with that, so can you tell me about preview?
This is Herbie.
Yes, Herbie.
So Preview is an app I use in the past. You use it for PDF files, for the accessible ones, or anything that's not an image-based file. And you can use it, or you might prefer Google Chrome as another way to read PDFs. How it works is you've kind of got several layers of interaction. So your first layer is like your pages. You interact with the page that you want, and then you interact again, and you read the content starting from that page. And it will kind of continue scrolling forward as you're going along or backwards. And then you can use your quick nav if you need to do things like reading something by word or character or whatever.
Okay, this is Dan. So is that in the App Store preview?
No, it's already built. This is Herbie.
Yes, Herbie.
It's already part of your Mac.
Oh, really? Okay, so
you should see it in your apps folder.
Okay, you're talking, what operating system are you talking? Does this apply to Big Sur?
All of them.
All of them. I've had a Mac since 2019, and it's definitely been in that one which was Mojave. So, yeah.
This is Brad.
It's a
I've been
native
using
Mac
one
app.
since before that. It's always been there. It's been there as long as I've been using the Mac. And I started out with Mountain Lion 10.8. So.
Okay, so preview is in the app. Preview is in the app folder. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And once you open a PDF, that's what it should use by default to open it with. So you don't even have to look for the app. Just open the PDF file, and it should automatically launch in preview.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
The only way it would not be in your apps folder is if you saw it once. It's like, I don't know what this is, and hit the delete key. But
I don't do that.
Okay, then
Okay.
yeah.
Even then, I don't. There are some Mac apps you can't that easily delete. So
Right. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's one of them or not. So
Great, thanks.
It's a good app. This is Brad. It's a good app. I like it better than Adobe DC on a Mac.
Yeah, this is Dan. I wouldn't use Adobe. Yeah, right.
I've not used Adobe on the Mac. So all right.
yeah, and that
That's
might
good.
help
I've been happy
Donna.
with
She was
Preview,
trying
so.
to view something in Adobe, so we got talking about PDFs, and sounds like Donna and I would agree that Preview would be your best option. So
Well, I opened the file in Preview and I tried to interact with, it was just a 2-page document, and I tried to interact with it, and it did nothing.
Huh.
So I don't know.
This is Herbie.
Yes, Herbie.
So again, it has to be a text-based PDF. It can't be an image-based one. But if so, that's a key thing right there. Is first of all, is it image-based or text-based?
Well, she was able to view it in Adobe.
Yes, when I got it in Adobe, I could.
Yeah, but that I think can decode some image-based stuff that others can't.
Didn't think it could. Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
All right.
And this is Herbie.
Yes, Herbie.
Another PDF, if you want a more universal experience, like if you've come over from the Windows side, you can also use Google Chrome to read PDFs as well. And that displays differently than Preview does. It's more like a web interface. You've got like your pages, and you can read past and all that. I still like Preview a little bit better, but those are two options. Chrome is another option.
And how would somebody go about doing that then?
So make sure, of course, you have Google Chrome installed from the App Store. And there are two things you can do. You can do a VO Shift M on the PDF file, go down to Open With, and right arrow in that submenu and go down to a Google Chrome. Or if you know that Chrome is the one you want to use, you can do an Alt-I on the file.
Command-I.
Command-I. Yep, sorry. Yeah. These old Windows habits. And tab to the, or VO right, I forget what it's actually called now. Here, let me actually just bring up a file. So if I do a Command-I, so it brings up the Get Info dialog.
Get info.
You're going to see when it's modified, blah, blah, blah.
This is Brad.
And Open With,
Yes,
expanded. Brad. Hold on. Yep, sorry. And then you're going to be presented with a button that you can just down arrow to where it says Google Chrome. You'll hit VO space on that. Right arrow, VO right to the Make Default button. Hit VO space on that, and there you go. So, and go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, well, this is what I was going to say. This is how, you don't have to make this your default. You can tell it to open that particular file in Google Chrome every time. But yes, that's how you change your default app for all PDFs. And I'm not sure if that's a good idea to do.
Yeah, it may not be in that, but that is I forget that with Mac you can do that. You can tell certain files to open in a particular app and have other files open in the default way. So
Okay.
That's correct.
Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah.
I've got things to try.
All right. Awesome. We like options. All right. So would anyone else like to ask a question?
Yes, this is Sandhya.
Yes, Sandhya.
Okay, really basic question. How do you get it to tell you, like if you're in Pages or Word or whatever, the name of your document? Like,
this is Brad.
Excellent. Yes, Brad.
You can use the command to read the title bar, which is VO and F2. It'll give you the name of the window. And just like reading the title bar with JAWS in Windows, it'll usually tell you, it may say Microsoft Word document 1 or whatever the document is,
Okay.
But try that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent question. Yeah, that's really important because I know sometimes if I have multiple documents open and step away from the computer, come back, forget which one's open. So
Yeah.
VOF2 does the trick.
VOF2, because I kept trying to do like Command T or like, in Windows you can do.
No,
Right.
it's not
It
JAWS.
didn't work. I know. I figured it out. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. All right. Who has another question? Well, if no one has a
Michael?
question. Oh, Michael. Okay.
Yeah, this is a real easy one. I forgot how to make my Mac not ring when my phone rings.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I still want to be able to use the phone on the Mac, but just don't want it to ring.
This is Brad.
Okay, Herbie and then Brad.
Oh yeah.
So are do you want it permanently not to ring or just temporarily?
Permanently, yeah.
Okay, so then what you could just do is go into the preferences and take it out of FaceTime that way, and that should allow you to what's it called? Brad might remember exactly what the exact
Wi-Fi calling?
Wi-Fi. No, not the Wi-Fi calling. Let's see. You've got enable this account. Oh, calls from iPhone. If you uncheck that, that'll keep it so that at least phone calls won't come through. You'll still get FaceTime calls.
FaceTime preferences, or where is that?
Yes. That's in your FaceTime preferences.
Okay, so under system preferences, FaceTime.
No, under FaceTime and the command comma for preferences. Go there.
Okay.
There's a FaceTime app. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad?
You can also, I've fix mine by going into system preferences notifications. Select FaceTime from the app category and tell it not to make a sound. I also don't want it to give me a notification banner of any kind in the upper right-hand corner of the screen when something comes in. So it basically, I just turned off the sounds from it. I think I did also go into FaceTime notifications, and there is a thing where you select a ringer and just change your ringer to none. And I think, but I can't remember if that's what I did. But anyway, I just don't want my Mac to ring when my phone rings, period, ever.
Yeah, I think that's what I did on my old Mac. I went into system preferences notifications.
Yeah.
Did it that way. Okay, I just couldn't remember. All right, thanks.
Great. All right. Anyone else with a question?
This is Sunday. I don't want to bug everybody.
No,
but
it's perfect. You're great.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think I know the answer, but I keep my Wi-Fi keeps going out. I mean, like I can't open Zoom, and I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, and then I try to select the preferred account. It won't let me choose that. It's like, oh, use your personal hotspot or whatever, use your iPhone. So I guess I need to go and turn off the Wi-Fi router and figure out what's going on.
This is Brad.
Yes, Brad.
You can go into what's it called? Network preferences. If you go to your menu bar, menu extras, select Wi-Fi, VO spacebar, all the way at the bottom, you get to network preferences.
Right. I've seen it.
Then you go into there, and of course by default it's on Wi-Fi because that's how you're connected. Navigate almost all the way to the end to advanced. Okay. And then there's going to be in advanced, you're going to find a table, and you can get to it. VO command T will take you to the table. It is a table of pretty much any Wi-Fi you have connected to on with that Mac. And it will have all kinds of things that you may want to get rid of. Like if you ever went to the Radisson at South Padre Island, it's going to be there. because you connect it to it and you can select it and go down the bottom of the table and hit the minus and get rid of it from your list. But let's say you have your home Wi-Fi. Like at my house, there's two. My AT&T box is putting out a Wi-Fi signal, and so is my Apple Airport time capsule. And I want the Apple Airport time capsule to be my primary. So what you do is you arrange those apps in the order of preference. So if you have your home Wi-Fi app, you can move it to the top of the list. And that means that when you're at home and that app, that Wi-Fi network is available, it will connect to it. And then if you have maybe your hotspot from your iPhone, you can put it below your home network, and then it would choose your home network above the Wi-Fi hotspot. You know, I mean, I'm just picking things.
Right.
If you go to, for example, your brother's house and you've connected to the Wi-Fi at his house, well, it may be on there too. Now, chances are your brother doesn't live next door to you. So you're not going to be in range of his Wi-Fi when you're at home. So it kind of doesn't matter where it is on the list, but you may find it on the list too. So you can arrange, if you got more than one Wi-Fi at home and one stronger than the, that kind of thing, you can arrange those. Now, arranging them is a little tricky because it tells you to drag them like you're sighted and can use a mouse. So you have to go back to using your mouse down thing where, okay, you're going to interact with the table. You're going to use voiceover navigation, go to one you want to move either up or down. I wish there was just a keyboard command to move it up or down, but I believe you have to VO command shift spacebar does mouse down. Now you let go of everything but VO key, and then you arrow up, and the mouse should be following it. And this is where it turns on Jesse's command, where it will now the mouse is following the voiceover cursor. Gets turned on when you do this. Then when you're ready to drop it, you've got it where you want it to go. You hold down the VO key and then again, the command and the shift, and you press the space bar and it will release the mouse down. And you have now completed dragging it to where you want it to go.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Good thing we have a recording here. All right.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And good thing we have Brad who gives such thorough answers.
I know. Thank
Isn't
you.
that great? And we've reached the end of the time, everyone. So thanks so much for coming. Be sure to come to It's iBUG's Life this Thursday at 6 p.m. here on Zoom. Our movie on Friday at 7:30, and our iBUG Buzz next Monday from 7 to 9. Lots of great stuff here for you. So keep checking our website, social media, and coming back here to our Zoom meeting. And thanks for showing up tonight.
Good one. Thanks, Chanelle.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Good